Every morning felt like a fight for Susan. At 58, she'd wake up groggy, stumbling into the kitchen like she was still half asleep. She blamed age, hormones, maybe stress. But the truth was simpler and more hopeful. Her brain was starved. Starved with fuel it needed to fire up and help her face the day. Coffee only masked the issue. It didn't fix it. Then one day, after reading an article on brain-boosting foods, Susan decided to try something different. She swapped her usual bagel for a bowl of oatmeal topped with a handful of fresh blueberries. No dramatic expectations, just curiosity. But something shifted. Within a week, she noticed she wasn't losing her train of thought mid-conversation. Her morning crossword didn't feel like a chore. She wasn't just awake. She was alert. Those tiny blueberries were rich in anthocyanins, antioxidants that reduce brain inflammation and improve communication between brain cells. They weren't just fruit. They were a brain care ritual. The fog lifted not in a flash, but day by day, with every spoonful of brain-loving goodness. And Susan didn't just get her mornings back. She got her confidence back, her sense of control. The message is simple. If your brain feels slow, don't reach for another pill. Reach for the produce aisle. Your clarity might just be growing on a bush. Mark was 62, still working part-time, and he hated how every afternoon felt like a war zone. His energy would crash hard around 2 p.m., leaving him slumped at his desk, fighting to keep his eyes open. His brain was foggy, his mood was low, and despite sleeping well and eating okay, he couldn't shake the slump. Every day, it was the same, a bag of chips or a donut for a pick-me-up, followed by regret and sleepiness. But one day, while visiting his granddaughter's school for a nutrition fair, he heard a simple suggestion from a local dietitian. Try an apple with almond butter instead of that snack bar. Skeptical but desperate, he gave it a shot. 1 week later, everything changed. The fiber in the apple slowed digestion, giving him a steady stream of energy. The healthy fats from almond butter helped his brain feel nourished, not numbed. Suddenly, he was productive again, not dragging himself through the rest of the day. The apple trick became his non-negotiable. What started as a small change transformed his afternoons and gave him back hours of focus. The takeaway? When your body begs for energy, it's not asking for sugar, it's asking for sustenance. Don't power through the slump. Power up with something that actually feeds you. Grace never thought much about her blood pressure. At 65, she felt fine, some fatigue, sure, but nothing unusual. Then came the checkup. Her doctor looked concerned. Your numbers are creeping up. It's time to make some changes. She panicked. Medication? More appointments? That night, staring at her fridge, she saw a perfectly ripe avocado and remembered something her neighbor once said, "Avocados save my heart." The next morning, she mashed half an avocado on whole grain toast, sprinkled some lemon and sea salt, and had breakfast. And then she did it again the next day. And the next. Weeks turned into months. And when she returned for her follow-up appointment, her blood pressure had dropped significantly. The doctor was impressed. The creamy green fruit, packed with potassium and heart-healthy fats, had helped balance her sodium levels and reduce artery inflammation. It wasn't a miracle. It was nutrition. Grace felt more energetic, her skin glowed, and she even slept better. She became the avocado lady in her friend group, always advocating for heart health on a slice of toast. Her story is a reminder. Sometimes the scariest warnings from our body are also the greatest gifts. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just start with your plate. And if it's green, creamy, and comes from an avocado, your heart will thank you. Tony had always been sharp. The kind of guy who remembered everyone's birthday, told stories in vivid detail, and never needed a reminder app. But as he hit 59, he started blanking on names, even close friends. It rattled him. He joked about it at first, but inside he was scared. His mother had battled Alzheimer's. Was he next? That fear pushed him to dig into research about memory and food. One word kept popping up: blueberries, known as brain berries. They were loaded with compounds that reduce brain inflammation and improve neural pathways. So, Tony started a new morning ritual. A smoothie with blueberries, Greek yogurt, spinach, and a touch of honey. Within a month, he noticed something strange. He wasn't blanking out anymore. His thoughts felt sharper, quicker. Even his co-workers commented on how on point he seemed. It wasn't magic. It was anthocyanins doing their job, feeding his brain what it needed. Tony felt like himself again. And with every smoothie, he was rewriting his future, one without the fear of forgetting who he was. The lesson is profound. You can't change your genes, but you can change your fuel. Your brain is hungry for help. Feed it what it needs, and it will repay you with clarity, focus, and years of sharper living. At 63, Lisa dreaded dinner. Not because of the cooking, but because of what came after. Bloating, cramping, that heavy, sluggish feeling that made her want to skip family game night and head straight to bed. She tried antacids, teas, even going dairy-free. Nothing worked long-term. One evening, her daughter handed her a bowl of ripe papaya after dinner. "Just try it, Mom." Skeptical but tired of feeling uncomfortable, she took a few bites. The taste was light, refreshing. But what shocked her was how she felt the next morning. Light, energized, no discomfort. She started eating papaya after every meal. Within 2 weeks, her digestion felt brand new. The secret? Papain, a natural enzyme in papaya that breaks down proteins and eases digestion. Lisa also learned papayas were loaded with vitamin C and anti-inflammatory compounds that helped heal her gut. No more pills, just fruit. And the impact went beyond her stomach. Her mood improved. Her energy soared. She felt like herself again, without fear of discomfort ruining her evenings. Her advice now? Don't ignore your gut. Listen to it, and then feed it what it truly needs. Nature doesn't make mistakes. If papaya can help you enjoy dinner again, it's worth a seat at your table. Connection in a piece of fruit. Frank's 66th birthday was quiet. Too quiet. His wife had passed a few years earlier, and his kids were busy with their own lives. Evenings, once filled with laughter, were now silent stretches of time that reminded him of what he'd lost. But one Saturday, his daughter convinced him to visit a local farmer's market. There, among the homemade jams and live music, he discovered a vibrant red fruit he hadn't eaten in years, pomegranate. "Good for your heart," the vendor smiled. Frank bought one. That night, he cracked it open, scattered the seeds on a salad, and was surprised at how alive it made him feel. Tangy, bright, a little messy, just like life used to be. He started going back to the market every weekend, not just for the fruit, but for the people, the conversations, the feeling of belonging, and yes, the pomegranates. Over time, his energy improved, his cholesterol dropped, his sadness softened. Pomegranates are rich in polyphenol that supports circulation and protects cells from aging, but for Frank, they also brought connection, joy, color. The lesson? Health isn't just physical, it's emotional. Julie, 52, had been trying to lose those last stubborn 15 pounds for years. She walked every day, drank her water, even counted calories. But the scale hadn't moved in months. She felt defeated. Then one afternoon, her nutritionist asked her a question. "What's your sweet treat?" Sheepishly, Julie admitted to her nightly cookie habit. "Just one or two." "Try something different," the nutritionist suggested. "An apple with cinnamon, maybe even a touch of peanut butter." Julie rolled her eyes but agreed. That night, she had a crisp apple instead of cookies. It wasn't as indulgent, but it satisfied her craving. She kept doing it. After 3 weeks, she'd lost 4 pounds, without changing anything else. The fiber in apples filled her up, and the natural sweetness curbed her dessert urges. The pectin helped regulate her blood sugar, keeping her metabolism steady. Over the next few months, Julie dropped the weight and gained confidence. Her cravings no longer controlled her. Her body responded to real food. And now, her apple ritual isn't a diet trick, it's a lifestyle. The lesson? Don't punish yourself to lose weight. Replace habits that hold you back with ones that lift you up, one apple at a time. For years, Robert, now 60, had a ritual he dreaded. Every night before bed, he'd sit on the edge of the mattress, rubbing his knees, stretching his back, waiting for the pain to settle enough so he could sleep. Once a weekend hiker, He now struggled to climb the stairs without wincing. It's just age, he told himself. Part of getting older. But deep down, he knew that stiffness was stealing his freedom, one joint at a time. He tried painkillers, creams, heating pads. Some helped. Most didn't. Then, a podcast featuring a longevity doctor mentioned inflammation and diet. Specifically, the role of fruits like pomegranates and apples in reducing chronic pain. That night, Robert swapped his evening snack for a bowl of chilled pomegranate seeds with sliced apple. It wasn't medicine, it was dessert. Within 2 weeks, he noticed the swelling in his knuckles had gone down. By the end of the month, he was sleeping through the night without waking up from joint pain. It wasn't a miracle cure, it was a shift. The antioxidants in the fruits worked gradually, repairing damage, calming inflammation, helping his body recover. Robert realized that his aches weren't just part of aging. They were signals, and by feeding his body right, he could silence them. Now, instead of dreading bedtime, he looks forward to it. The lesson? If your body whispers with pain, don't just hush it, heal it. Nature has already written the prescription. You just have to eat it. Marlene, 64, used to love food until it started fighting her. After a round of antibiotics knocked out her gut bacteria, everything she ate seemed to cause bloating, gas, or discomfort. Meals became a gamble, and she began to fear food. She tried supplements, probiotics, and elimination diets. She felt like a science experiment gone wrong. But then her daughter, a nurse, told her, start simple. Focus on fiber and real food. Eat for your gut, not against it. That's when Marlene discovered the magic of apples and papayas. She began each morning with half a papaya and ate an apple as an afternoon snack. It didn't happen overnight, but within a month, her digestion had stabilized. She no longer felt like a balloon after eating. Her energy returned. She started walking again because she didn't feel weighed down. She even noticed her mood lifting. The fiber in apples fed the good bacteria in her gut, and the enzymes in papaya helped break down food with ease. What she thought was just aging turned out to be fixable by nature. The gut, she learned, isn't just about digestion. It's your second brain, your immune fortress, your energy center. And healing, it doesn't require fancy pills. It requires fruit. The lesson? If your belly feels broken, stop fighting it. Start feeding it the way it wants to be fed. Joe had been counting down the days to retirement. But when it finally came, he found himself feeling old, sluggish, aimless. His body was stiff. His mornings dragged. And his spark? Gone. He hadn't expected that. Retirement was supposed to be freedom, not fatigue. But after venting to an old friend at a coffee shop, Joe heard something that stuck. What if it's not retirement that's draining you? It's what you're putting into your body? That day, Joe went home and made a decision. He was going to treat his meals like medicine. Out went the processed cereals, sugary snacks, and nightly indulgences. In came smoothies with blueberries, avocado toast, papaya bowls, pomegranate salads, and apples in the afternoon. He called it his fruit-first approach. Within weeks, Joe felt different, lighter, sharper, more alive. His wife even commented, "You've got your glow back." His body responded to the nutrients like dry soil soaking in rain. His joints loosened, his mind brightened, and the fire returned to his days. Joe didn't join a gym or start a new diet. He just went back to the basics, real, whole fruit, and it gave him back his second youth. The lesson? Retirement isn't the end, it's a beginning. And how you fuel determines whether you slow down or speed up. If you want energy, purpose, and clarity, put fruit on your plate and let nature do the rest. Darlene had always had a sweet tooth. After dinner, it was automatic. Cookies, ice cream, or whatever was in the pantry. At 54, she knew the sugar crashes weren't doing her any favors. She felt jittery, bloated, and her weight wouldn't budge. She tried willpower, even throughout her stash. But cravings always crept back. One night, while scrolling online, she stumbled on a tip: frozen blueberries with a dash of cinnamon. Sweet, cooling, guilt-free. It sounded too simple to work, but she gave a shot. That night, Instead of raiding the cookie jar, she popped a handful of frozen berries in a bowl. They were delicious, satisfying, and most importantly, they stopped the craving dead in its tracks. She kept it up. Over the next few weeks, her nighttime binges disappeared. Her sleep improved. Her mood leveled out. The antioxidants in the berries helped regulate her blood sugar and support her brain chemistry. The best part? She didn't feel like she was on a diet. She felt free, liberated from the hold sugar had over her. The lesson? Cravings aren't your enemy. They're a message. Your body is asking for something real, not artificial. And when you satisfy that message with the right food, you don't just avoid temptation. You erase it. Sheila, 61, kept a box in her closet filled with her mother's letters. Her handwriting, once graceful, grew shaky in the later years. Hard to read, like her thoughts had slipped through her fingers. Alzheimer's had taken her slowly, painfully. Sheila feared that fate more than anything. So when she started forgetting small things, where she put her phone, what she walked into a room for, panic set in. But instead of freezing in fear, she turned to action. She began researching brain health and discovered a list of memory-supporting foods. At the top, blueberries and pomegranates. That day, she went shopping and filled her cart with brain fuel. Every morning, she added blueberries to her Greek yogurt. Every afternoon, she drank a small glass of pure pomegranate juice. She didn't expect miracles, just hope. Within a month, she felt sharper. Her husband noticed. "You're back," he said, after she rattled off a grocery list from memory. Sheila didn't just feel mentally strong. She felt empowered. Sheila didn't just feel mentally strong. She felt empowered. She wasn't doomed to her mother's fate. She had a choice. The lesson? Family history doesn't have to be your future. You can nourish your brain, protect your mind, and preserve your story one blueberry at a time. At 56, Ron was trying to stay active. Twice a week at the gym, weekend hikes, the occasional tennis match. But the aftermath? Brutal. His muscles screamed for days. He started skipping workouts just to avoid the soreness. He thought he was too old to recover fast, until a trainer gave him advice he never expected. Your post-workout meal matters more than your workout. Eat anti-inflammatory foods. Try papaya and avocado. That afternoon, Ron blended a shake with frozen papaya chunks, banana, a scoop of protein, and almond milk. He topped it with avocado for healthy fat. It tasted amazing, but more importantly, it worked. The next day, he felt lighter, less sore, more ready to move. He kept it up after every workout. The enzymes in papaya helped break down the micro tears in his muscles. The healthy fats in avocado calmed inflammation. Instead of dreading recovery, he started looking forward to it. His workouts became more consistent. He even signed up for a 5K. The lesson? Fitness after 50 isn't about grinding. It's about recovering smarter. Don't just train your muscles. Feed them what they need to rebuild. Nature's healing doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a blender. Jenny was 60 when her doctor gave her the wake-up call. She was pre-diabetic. Her blood sugar levels were creeping up. And if she didn't change, medication was next. She was terrified. She'd seen friends battle diabetes. She didn't want that path. But what could she do? Diet felt overwhelming. Everything seemed to have sugar. Then a friend gave her a tip. Swap out soda and sweets for naturally sweet fruits, like apples and pomegranates. Jenny started small. She infused her water with apple slices and cinnamon. At lunch, she swapped her dessert for pomegranate seeds with a squeeze of lime. It felt doable. Within a month, her energy improved. She wasn't hungry between meals. Her blood sugar? Back in the safe range. Her doctor smiled. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. Jenny felt proud. In control. She didn't feel punished. She felt empowered. The fruit satisfied her sweet tooth without spiking her glucose. The fiber slowed digestion. The antioxidants helped regulate her metabolism. The lesson? You don't have to give up sweetness to take back your health. Just choose the sweetness that loves you back. Walt was 65 and tired, not of life, but of not living it. He had 5 grandkids, all under 10, and every time they visited, he found himself sitting out. No backyard games. No tag. Just watching, aching, missing out. One day, after seeing his youngest granddaughter running toward him and realizing he couldn't catch her, he made a decision. I want to be the grandpa that plays, he said to his wife. That week, he began a simple change. He added a fruit to every single meal. Blueberries in the morning, avocado at lunch, papaya in his afternoon shake, apple after dinner, pomegranate seeds as a bedtime snack. Within weeks, he felt the shift. More stamina, less pain, better sleep. And when the grandkids came over again, he ran with them. Not far, not fast, but he ran. And they cheered. He wasn't just a spectator anymore. He was in the game. The lesson? Sometimes the biggest transformations come from the simplest places. If you want to stay in the picture, stay on your feet, stay in the moments that matter. You've got to fuel your body like it matters. Because it does. Your grandkids aren't just watching. They're waiting for you to play.